So now you can see the same dots in the perspective of 100 years. Whoa, look at the population has gone up from almost 2 billion to almost 8 billion. That's like 4 times. That's outrageous. And you can see the CO2 go up about 100 parts per million. That's a lot. So you can really see the change and see the swing. Sea level's been...
That CO2 rise, by the way, it's risen by 1/3.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Okay, it's risen by 1/3. 35%, somewhere in there. Go back to sea level rise again.
I'm going the wrong way. 10 years ago. Okay,
all right, so when we were saying not much was happening, you start to see it here. That's 22 centimeters for those who think in the Old English system there, that's 8 inches. 8 inches of sea level rise is what's causing now the Keys to be flooded for a month at a time and flooding along our coasts. And we've got parts of, Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton Roads. Those guys are really in serious trouble. The U.S. Navy's been pouring money in there, which is the only reason they're still functional. Miami Beach has spent $500 million and they're just scratching the surface. 8 inches is significant.
Right, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, so where were we 100 years ago? 100 years ago was really when we shifted in a big way to fossil fuel as a power source. And this is when our source of energy became invisible. And it is when the sort of modern world opened up. To have this ready source of power meant that people and animals didn't have to do all the work, which was just amazing, which meant that we could do things that were unimaginable before. We could travel, we could, we could go places and we could do things, the manufacturing and produce stuff at a scale and a level that was just unimaginable before. So that's the big change.
And also people's bodies didn't wear out so fast.
No.
Because a lot of this work was manual, and the life expectancy, people died in their 40s and 50s, and that was expected. This changed it.
The other thing that happened was electric lights, and the street lighting in particular, which meant that you could go out at night and that you didn't see the stars anymore. So we're shifting kind of away from that sense that had always been of the celestial universe and where we were within it. The other thing that's funny that this picture shows is the pollution, particularly from coal, that put particulate matter in the air. And so the electric lights would then reflect off of that smog essentially in the air and would turn the sky like amazing colors. I remember this from Philadelphia, that you would look up and you say, what color really is that anyway? I don't know. And here is the population, forests. You can see the difference from the previous map of how much more forest there is. And even here in 1900, deforestation was a tremendous problem already. But you can see the population concentrations. The brown is also the coal deposits.